Hello, friends. If we talk of the markets, currently we are seeing a lot of volatility in the market. Most of this volatility is coming from the interest rate scenario globally. And that has happened because a year back, central banks resolved to fight inflation very rigorously, and they were ready to sacrifice some of the growth to fight the inflation. Now, while they have increased rates quite aggressively, uh, and some amount of moderation has been seen in inflation. However, there are expectations that the inflation may remain elevated for a long period of time, or at least the core inflation will remain elevated. And for that, the central banks have to keep the rates elevated or even may hike further from here. Now, that obviously have impact on many things, including the market valuations and things like that. In a way, you can say that the market get a lot of influence from the current prevailing rate, and some of it we have already been seeing in form of some banks having mark to market losses and things like that. Though we see that the mark to market losses in some of the balance sheets are not contagion in nature, but certainly those are widespread, and that will have impacts on the policy making going forward. However, at the same time, if you look at currently, we don't see that because of few instances which have been reported in last 1 week, that the central banks are going to reduce the rates in the forthcoming policy, or at least, or even pause for that matter. We expect them to continue to hike it and maybe take a call later. And this entire movement of the rates, uh, obviously, if I look at from the long-term valuation point of view, from the equity market, it has an implication, and somewhere that is also nerving the market. And that's why, if you look at the recent volatilities in the risk assets, especially equities, has been very high. And if we talk specifically for India, somewhere people have ignored how the results have been in last quarter, how the Indian corporates did well. If you look at the corporate results were not that bad. If you look at from the EBITDA margins point of view, they were able to, there was increase in EBITDA margin, contrary to the trend which we had seen in previous 2 quarters, where there were a depleting margin profile. But this time we have seen uptick, and I think that's a healthy sign. But that all got camouflaged with the volatility which has been induced uh, from the global events. So if we remove global events aside and we talk of Indian markets, I think Indian economy as such is doing good. The high frequency data is suggesting robustness in the economy. Indian corporate sector is doing okay. That's been visible from the results. Especially the December quarter results have been quite encouraging. At least, we are not seeing the depletion wherever the results were not that great. I think once this global volatility settles down, I think India will again look attractive. And as it is, if you look at last 1 year of sideways movement, has made Indian valuations quite attractive. If we talk of the small cap index, which was January 2022, it was trading at 44 multiple, that has moved to something like 18 multiple today. So India has become cheap in terms of the valuation from it was, and that was the only concern which the market has. So I think that concern been addressed. Going forward, I think we see a stable market once this stability in the global markets come in. Till such time, we have to withstand this volatility. But I think from the longer term perspective, things are looking quite orderly, and I think that is how you should look at it. And consider this volatility to consider a long-term portfolio, because a lot of things are available at quite attractive valuations. So if you look at from 3 year 4 years perspective, I think this could be a good entry point, especially when I just said that, a year back, if you look at small cap valuation have halved from there, and I think that offers an attractive entry point. While till the volatility is there, the focus should be towards the large caps, but I think on selective basis one can look to pick up stocks or sectors from the long term point of view. So with that, I'll end. Thank you very much.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.